Okay, so yesterday, guys, we did the kidney. So we did the structure of the kidney. For those of you that are at home, you need to learn the structure of the kidney. We did a diagram together that you need to go through on your own. Today, I'm starting with the functional unit of the kidney, which is called the nephron. So just quickly, if you remember yesterday when we discussed this, my water's now wet. Okay, we said that the outer part of the kidney is called the cortex, while the inner part of the kidney is called the medulla. Yes? Okay? So nice to have people responding instead of talking to myself. Okay, so we have the kidney, which has got this kind of shape. It has this renal pelvis, which attaches to the ureter. Okay? The ureter is going to take urine to the bladder, and bladder is where urine is going to be stored. Okay, calm down. Okay? So it's fine when you have a wind storm, okay? Right. Let's try again. Right, so the outer layer is called the cortex, okay? Made up of about 1 million nephrons, and so the nephron is a functional unit of the kidney, and then the inner layer is made up of these tubes which transport urine down into this area called the renal pelvis. So this area here is called the medullary pyramids. Everyone happy with that so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the nephron is made up of two parts. We're going to talk about them now. And it has an area up here and an area down here and an area up here. And then it will transport urine. So urine gets produced in that structure called the nephron, which is what we're doing today. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, the nephron is the functional unit of the kidney. In other words, this is the part that actually does the work. This is the part of the kidney that is performing the function of the actual organ. Okay? It consists of two parts. The first part is called the Malpighian body. Very difficult word, but simple concept. Okay? And so it's this first area called the Malpighian body. Is everybody happy with that word? Malpighian body. In the Malpighian body, we have a capillary network. Okay? Very simply, grade 11s, a capillary network is a capillary network. Do you understand what a capillary network is?
Yes.
It's just blood vessels. Now, this specific capillary network has a special name. And that special name is called the glomerulus. 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 Okay? And the glomerulus fits inside what we call the Bowman's capsule. So what I'm going to do on the side here is I'm going to draw this so that we can understand exactly what it is we're talking about. Are we all cool? Okay, so we have this first part is called the Malpighian body, and it's made up of the Bowman's capsule. Now, the Bowman's capsule does exactly what its name says. It's a capsule, okay? So it looks like this. Are we happy with that? So it's like a funnel, like a capsule, like a cap, okay? So this is called the Bowman's capsule, okay? Bowman's capsule. Inside your Bowman's capsule, you have this capillary network. And as I said to you guys, it's a capillary network. It's just carrying blood. So there is blood, and I'm doing it in red so that it represents blood so you have an understanding. Okay, there is blood coming into the specific part of that Bowman's capsule and forming a capillary network. So when we draw it, we kind of just draw a whole bunch of blood vessels all over the place. Okay? Then there is a blood vessel leaving this glomerulus. Okay? There's a blood vessel coming in, something happening here, and a blood vessel exiting. This is called the glomerulus. The glomerulus. What is the glomerulus? It's a capillary network. In other words, it's just blood. Okay. Blood that goes into the this network, and it's got a special name called the glomerulus. Together, the glomerulus plus the Bowman's capsule. So these two together, this one plus this one, form something called the Malpighian body. So this top part is called the Malpighian body. It consists of the glomerulus. Do we understand that? Tick. Bowman's capsule. Do we understand that? Tick. The cells that make up the Bowman's capsule are called podocytes. So they're these little cells that are surrounding this area over here called podocytes. And what those podocytes do is they allow for the movement of substances through the blood into the Bowman's capsule. Okay, so these are called I need a different pen. Podocytes. And what do podocytes? They line this internal layer over here. And so what happens at this particular point in the nephron is substances are going to move from the blood through these podocytes into this Bowman's capsule. And we're going to talk about what substances and how that actually happens. Okay? So there are substances that are going to be move across. There are certain substances that never move. Okay? You never want blood passing into your urine. Do you ever want blood in your urine? No. Blood in your urine is a problem. Okay? So blood cells stay in the capillary network. So blood stays in the capillary network, whereas other substances, talk to me, what kind of substances, quickly, what kind of substances do you think are going to pass from the blood into this area called the Bowman's capsule? Yes? Wastes. Okay, so we're going to have some wastes that pass through. Okay? What else? What is your urine made up of, guys?
Water.
Waste. We have water. What else? Yes. Salts. We're going to have some salts. Okay? We're going to have, could potentially some good things pass, like glucose.
Yes.
Glucose is a small molecule. Absolutely. So you're going to get glucose coming through here. Glucose could potentially pass through. Could we potentially have good things like amino acids?
Yes.
Yes? Amino acids are also small. Okay, so all of these small particles, amino acids, glucose, salts, water, wastes, they are all going to come through and pass into this area called the Bowman's capsule. So from the blood, and that capillary network has just got a special name called the glomerulus. You just have to learn that is called the glomerulus. Blood is being brought to this area, and in that blood we're transporting wastes, we're transporting nutrients, we're transporting salts, we're transporting water, we're transporting glucose. And some of that stuff is going to be filtered. I'm going to teach you how that filtration takes place, and there are specialized adaptations at this specific area that allows for filtration to happen. Okay? And all of this is referred to, all of these things that are now filtered is called filtrate. Filtrate. So what's in the filtrate? Water, salt, some glucose, some amino acids, some wastes. What do we want to get rid of? The wastes and the water and the salts. What don't we want to get rid of? Vitamins, amino acids. So some are even vitamins. Vitamins. Some vitamins even. What do we want to do? Nice, Cameron, talk to me. What did you say?
Reabsorption.
We're going to reabsorb the good things and we're going to excrete the bad things. And so along the process of the next step that happens, the renal tubules, they do a whole bunch of things to make sure that we lose the bad stuff, keep the good stuff. Okay, are we all happy? And there's also some regulatory stuff that happens. So we regulate things like salt, we regulate things like water. Okay. Right, then we have what we call the capsular space. So the capsular space is where this stuff kind of goes into. So it's just the space between there and there. Difficult? Just a space. It's called the capsular. Does it have an R on it? I think it does, yes. Capsular space. part, Malpighian body. Are we happy?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So the next part is we move on to a whole bunch of renal tubules. I'm going to go through all of these renal tubules that I'm going to show you. I'm going to put them on just quickly for now. But when we go through this topic, we're going to go through the proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle, distal, and then the collecting ducts. And at each point, something different happens to regulate or to reabsorb or to make sure that we produce urine that gets rid of waste, but keeps all the things that we need in terms of what we need in our body. Happy days?
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions? Okay, so the renal tubules, let's add them quickly. The first renal tubule that we have right at the beginning of this part is called the proximal convoluted tubule. So there it is. It loops back on itself like this, and it's got this looping kind of feature to it. Everybody happy with that concept?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's look at this word. Let's break down this word. What is, if somebody is in close proximity to you? What is, if you're close, right? So the proximal convoluted tubule, proximal is in close proximity to the Malpighian body. It's the first tubule at the Malpighian body. Okay? Are we all happy with that? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's the proximal. What does the word convoluted mean? Convoluted means complex. You're a superstar, thank you. What does convoluted mean? Anybody know? Oh, that was such a convoluted story. Have you never heard of that? No. If someone tells you a story and then it takes like many turns and it's like, oh yeah, then she was here and then he was there and then, oh yeah, but my uncle was also da 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 da, and it kind of takes like many turns and you're like, what's the point of the story? Where are we even going? Have you ever had, that's like a convoluted, it's all like over the place. It does like loops. And then you're like, okay, can we get back to the main point? So this is how I always remember it. So this is proximal, close, convoluted. Sean, wake up. Hey, son, throw something at your head. So this is proximal, ready? So you guys should be drawing with me. No, some people are sleeping. Now he's got me on video shouting at you, Sean, for the whole world to see. I'm putting it on YouTube. That Sean is a sleeper in my class. Now he's causing trouble here. Okay. Good. Video people just have to wait. Okay. Proximal convoluted and then tubule. Tubule. So we have the proximal convoluted tubule. Is that better? Okay, proximal convoluted tubule. Proximal, close to the Malpighian body. Convoluted, it's twisty and turny and all in and out. Okay, tubule. Tubule's easy. Then it drops down into what we call the loop of Henle. What is a loop going to look like? Like a loop, right? Is that difficult? Not at all. Some people are still talking about the date. The 8th of July, son. We're like 20 minutes into the lesson and you still want to talk about the date. Okay, I hope it can be visible. Is it visible? Yes. Okay. So this is the loop. Change pens quickly. Change to blue. Loop of Henle. Okay. I don't know if Henle was the guy that found this thing or whatever, but that's what it's called. It's got a hairpin bend. So it's got this bend. Something, later when we talk about it, something happens here. We'll talk about it when we get there. So at each different point, something happens. And then we have the distal convoluted tubule. So convoluted again. Do you see it? Looping in on itself. And then we have the last type of tubule, which is the collecting ducts. And we'll talk about that just now. Right, so this one here is called the distal. Think about distance. It's the one a little bit further. Distal convoluted tubule. distal convoluted tubule, and the last type over here is the collecting. What do you think the collecting ducts are going to do? They're going to collect. And so at the end of the collecting duct, what is going to be formed? What do we form at the end of this process? Not pee, we're biologists, son. Urine. Pee. Okay, so we have the formation of urine. And so we've got to filter out substances from the blood, process those substances from the blood, sort out various things, and I'm going to teach you all the way along what happens at the proximal convoluted tubule, what happens at the loop of Henle, what happens at the distal convoluted tubule, what even happens at the collecting ducts, and then those collecting ducts join at that last part. Remember, go back to our kidney now. Okay, so at our kidney, yes, we have that renal pelvis. Those medullary pyramids. Yes, darling. This is inside the kidney. These collecting ducts join to form these ducts called the ducts of Bellini. Is Bellini double L? I think it was, hey? Yeah. Bellini. And these ducts come from these collecting ducts. And they form, and all the urine then gathers through here into the renal pelvis and exits out the ureter. And where's it going to go to the? Bladder. And then out the ureter. And that, grade 11s, is today's lesson. Are we all happy? Yes. Fantastic.